Hi, my name is Gary Yao, and today I would like to share you some facts and figures about the state of the economy, mainly personal economy. So let me start delving real quick. Do you know that 46% of American workers have less than 10% of savings? 29% have less than $1,000 in savings, and 25% have zero savings. The gap between the rich and the poor in America has never been wider, nor has it grown faster over the last 30 years. This has grown exponentially faster. So why do so many have so little? There are two reasons why so many have so little. Number one is savings. Americans are struggling to save money more than ever. Second, is a lack of financial literacy. There's not enough knowledge out there for people to make the right financial decisions. So what is causing this gap, this actual gap, to widen so quickly? Two reasons. The first reason why there's this gap is the wages. Wages here in America has become stagnant in the last 30 years. And the second is inflation. The cost of living has steadily been growing in the last 30 years, and this helps the rich getting richer because of the assets that they have. Unfortunately, there are some facts that you have to know about American workers today. Most Americans will not be able to retire. Currently, 70% of Americans won't retire. Oh. 70% of workers won't retire, and the number is increasing rapidly. The fact is, most cannot save their way to financial security and retirement because it is mathematically impossible. But Gary, what about the 401k? What about it? 401k is failing because of inflation. Inflation is exceeding many people's ability to save and fund their 401k. Many don't even realize that the little money that they use to fund their 401k isn't even enough because inflation eats their gains, and then by the time they realize this, it's too late. What's worse, the actual inflation rate here in California is much more higher than the entire nation. Now, the reason why inflation is so high, for one, is the cost of housing. No. Inflation in LA and OC. The current rate of inflation is about 4%. Yes? So let's talk about housing a little bit. Rent is 5% year over year. Have you ever had a landlord who said, hey, you know what? For the next lease, I'm going to drop the price down to what you're paying right now. Does that ever happen? No, right? If anything, you can count on one thing. It's going to go higher. Home value. Now, home value. Here in LA and Orange County, the appreciation of your property has gone up. It's about 8.5% on average. Yes, and inflation 4%. So, why do hardworking workers fall into this pit? For one is the lack of pension plans. Money Magazines says that 13% of private equity companies offer pension plan. Most offer 401k that workers must fund themselves with their own savings. Second, poor spending habits. We as a consumer society, we're always chasing for the next shiny object to gain what is that instant gratification. And third, as I mentioned, is the lack of financial knowledge. 2/3 of workers will work their entire lives. Does that make sense? Is that because of our lifestyle fault? Is our economy, the economy system at fault? Why haven't wages gone up? Greedy corporations? Let's review that. So, why can you pay more wages? Why can't we have more wages? The primary reason? Global economy and technology. Global economy. American companies are fighting with global powers like China, where wages are far lower. Millions of manufacturing jobs have gone to Mexico. Administration jobs have gone to India. These factors make it impossible for US companies to compete. Therefore, these corporations are moving out. Millions of Americans are unprepared for retirement for one single piece of information that they don't have. You know what is that? Most Americans do not know how much money they need to save to create the investment income they need to retire. To solve this retirement issue, you need to answer 3 simple questions. The first question is, how much income do I need to make by the time I retire? Questions. First, how much income do I need by the time I retire? Second, how much money The second is, how much money do I need to save to provide for that income? Oh, and the third question, is, how would I make that money? How do I accumulate? How do I accumulate that money? So let's tackle the first question. I want to answer 2 of these 3 questions, okay? So the first question, how much income do I need to retire by? Do I need to save by the time I retire? Let's say that your current lifestyle, your savings, your lifestyle, like for cars or things to live, is $3,000 a month, okay? $3,000. Your current lifestyle is $3,000 a month. You're 30 years old and you plan to retire by the time you're 60. Spending now. You're 30 years old, right? Now you want to retire by the time you're 60. Let's say the inflation, instead of 4%, remember, it's 4%, inflation is 3%. Let's say the inflation is 3%, far lower than the national average, and your $3,000 expense would be in 30 years. So you multiply 3,000 in the next 30 years, retirement. So you retire in 30 years. This expense, $3,000 in 30 years time, will be $7,000 to $281. This is how much you need to make by the time you're 60. Does it make sense? So that's after taxes. So before tax, that means that you have to make, after tax, before tax, $10,000. So yearly, you have to make $120,000. You have to make this amount of money in order to support your lifestyle by the time you're 60. Does it make sense? Second, well, now we know that we need $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. So how much money do I need to save? Let's say that you manage to get a warranty of 6% return. Well, let me change that. The stock market has given a historical return of 7.5%, 7.8%. Let's say that you guarantee 6% return on your stock market, right? That is after all the fees and whatever. Now, let's divide $127,000 by 6% of your return. That will give you the grand total of $2 million. That means that you need a capital seed startup at $2 million at a 6% return to make $120,000 a year, so you can have $10,000 a month, so you can have after taxes $7,281 to support your current lifestyle of today's money. Okay, that's adjusted for inflation. Now, let's run a scenario. Yeah, let's just say that you save $200 a month. That means that you manage to rack up $2,400 a year for 30 years. For 30 years, yeah? And you receive a 7% return. You receive a 7% return. Okay? $200 a month. That's 2,400, 30 years at 7% return. Okay? You receive after 30 years, you will get $245,000, 617 in 30 years. That's a pretty good chunk of money. But it's, as a capital seed, you receive $1,428 per month, which is a far cry of what you need of $7,281 to support your current lifestyle. Yes? This is far from your goal. Let me give another scenario. Let's say that you bulk up and you start with $10,000 in savings, right? And each month after that is $500 per month. And you save it for 30 years. Month. Start. Okay? And instead of 7%, you get 8%. Why not? Yeah? So you get an 8% yield. Okay? So your capital seed will grow up to $780,325. Okay? This is your capital seed. You can see this is better, but still far. This is far for the $2 million that you need to retire. Can you see the issue now? Now, of course, the third question remains. How do you accumulate this money? How do you going to accumulate $2 million to support you just to scrape by to support your current lifestyle of $3,000, assuming that nothing changes? Everything stays the same from the time you're here to you retire. I would like to invite you to check out my other video where I want to give you a recommendation on how you can actually accumulate and prepare for retirement without the need to save that much. This is Gary Yao, and I'll talk to you soon.